What we're going to do is we're going to create an image that is black and white and also contains color, something kind of like this. So I have a picture that I've already loaded up here of myself. So the first thing I'm going to do with this picture is I'm going to make a copy of it. So there's a couple ways you can do that. The quick way is just to hit Control and then J, and that will make a copy. So you can see over here I've made a copy. The other way is to go up to let's see, image, and then duplicate. So you can go image, duplicate, and it'll duplicate the layer. But the quick way is just Control J. So now I've got my two copies. This copy here on top, I'm going to change it to black and white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to image, I'm going to go to adjustments, and I'm going to select black and white. So image, adjustments, black and white. Okay, so that'll change that into a black and white image. I can adjust some of what the colors would be a little bit, and I might tweak them just a little bit to give this picture a little more contrast because it was looking a little flat. So I might darken some of these colors on there just to add a little more contrast to the picture. Alright, so that looks good. I'll go ahead and click OK. Alright, so you see I have my black and white layer, I've got my color layer, like so. And I think I'll maybe go ahead and copy this color layer too. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, well, the quickest, easiest way to do this is maybe just use your eraser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my eraser tool. So right now, my hardness is set to 100%. I'm going to turn that all the way down to 0. And I'm going to increase the size of the eraser so that it's maybe about the width of my paintbrush here next to my face. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this across my face as if the paintbrush had been drug across my face to paint my face in some color here. So I'll just erase a little bit of that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this background layer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to brighten up some of the colors, make them a little more intense. So with this paintbrush tool, if I click and hold it, it gives me some other options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this replace color tool. Maybe I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Alright, so you can see my eyes are kind of green, but I want to maybe make them a little more intensely green. So maybe I'll choose a brighter green. With that brighter green, I'm going to use the color replacement to brighten that up just a titch, kind of like so. So then that will make those colors just a little more poppy. That might be a little too crazy. Maybe I'll tone it down a little bit. Still want to look like a crazy lizard man. Alright, let's... Okay. Alright. And I think what I'll do on this color layer, I might even use my vibrance, and I'll maybe make that color a little more vibrant. Turn that up just a titch. Maybe adjust the saturation a little bit just to make it a little more intense. Alright, just click OK. Alright. Okay, so now it's starting to look like maybe this brush has painted some color into my face here a little bit. And maybe what I'll do is I might create a little bit of a paint drip shape here coming down. The face here using my lasso tool. So I'm just kind of tracing this around a little bit. And then I'll just go ahead and close that in. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my black and white layer and I'll use my eraser. And since I've outlined this with the lasso, it'll only erase what is inside this lasso shape. Everything else will be protected. Okay, so go ahead and hit Control D, deselect it. Alright, so now it looks like I kind of have some paint dripping down my face a little bit. So then that will make this look a little more paint-like. Alright, so what I could do too, let me come through here and I might take my paint brush. I'm going to switch it from the color replacement tool back to the paintbrush tool, and I'm going to maybe take some white and I'll adjust the size a little bit. And I'm going to create a new layer. Let's go down to the bottom where it says create new layer. Okay, so I'm going to take some white and I'm going to add some highlights to different parts of the face here. So I'll add some highlights here along the bottom of my paint drips on the face here, and maybe a couple other spots. And a few little places. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to filter and I'm going to use my Gaussian blur. And I blur those out a little bit so then it gives it more of a glistening shine. Make those paint drips look like they're bubbling out a little bit more. Let's click OK. And I don't like the look of some of those, so I'm going to maybe just go ahead and erase a couple of those right there. Okay. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So we'll call that good for now. And you can see I've got some highlights. It makes it look like I've got some paint dripping down my face, altering this black and white picture, adding a little bit of color, making it a little more interesting. So you can try it out, something similar. Use whatever picture you want and that'll work. Okay guys, we'll talk to you later.